What do you think about auto-tune in music?
When I first heard it, I thought, what is that?
It makes things sound generic. I mean, it all kind of sounds the same.
Pitch correction is pure evil, and those who use it to fix a vocal should be tarred and feathered.
This is Major Tom to ground control.
So what did people used to do before autotune? Typically the singers were actually just better singers.
Do you think it's like cheating for somebody to use that when they're singing?
Everything has autotune on it.
This guy invented a way to do it.
Here at the Anaheim Convention Center.
Every pop song, every hip hop song.
Yeah.
The general listener doesn't know the difference.
People have been using autotune to make their vocals sound perfect for decades now, and it is ubiquitous. It has permeated every single genre. It would probably be impossible to find a song on any of the Billboard charts that doesn't use autotune or at least some other kind of pitch correction. But how did all of this happen? How does autotune even work? And why do so many people still despise it? Well, to answer all of those questions, we're gonna have to go back to where it all began.
First of all, when people say autotune, what they usually mean is pitch correction in general. While autotune was the first form of pitch correction, it's just one piece of software from a company called Antares that's become synonymous with an entire category of products. This is the phenomenon known as genericide. It's the same thing that happened with Kleenex, Tupperware, and Band-Aid. Nowadays, there are a myriad of plugins that all do virtually the same thing as autotune, and they all fall under the umbrella of pitch correction. But autotune itself was first unveiled in 1996 at the NAMM show, here at the Anaheim Convention Center in Anaheim, California. NAMM stands for National Association of Music Merchants, and it's an annual event for people to show off new products and equipment in the music industry. The person doing the unveiling was none other than Andy Hildebrand, the inventor of autotune. He was a research engineer who specialized in sound waves, specifically using them to map out the underground for big oil companies. He got the idea for autotune when a friend of his made a joke about how she wished there was a device that would instantly turn her into an amazing singer. Using his technical knowledge about sound and software, Andy put together the first version of autotune over the course of a few months before demonstrating it here at NAMM. Once people saw what autotune could do to a singer's voice, there was no stopping it. But autotune wasn't society's first attempt to give the human voice a perfectly in tune and almost robotic quality. For that, we're gonna have to go a little bit further back in time. In the late 60s, some musicians started using a device called a talk box. And a talk box is basically just a little speaker with a plastic tube that goes in your mouth that shoots sound into your mouth so that you can form it into words. The result is something that resembles a human voice, but with perfect pitch and the timbre of another instrument, usually a synthesizer or a guitar.
Do you guys have just like a clear tubing,
Oh,
rubber tube or plastic tube?
Yeah.
16? Aisle 16?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Here we go. This has gotta be good.
Around the world, around the world.
So this is basically what a talk box is. Obviously, I'm just using my phone and not like a real speaker. Real talk boxes have like a special speaker that does it better, and that ends up creating a sort of auto-tune-like sound. I hear a lot of people confuse talk boxes for auto-tune when they hear them. And another method of altering the human voice in a way that approaches pitch correction is the
vocoder, which is actually even older than the talk box. It dates back to the 1930s. Vocoders were invented to test compression schemes for the secure transmission of voice signals over copper lines, whatever the hell that means. And it essentially combines two sounds, obviously a human voice with the sound of some sort of synth, and it gives the human voice the timbre of this other weird sort of electronic sound, but it does this electronically rather than physically like the talk box. It's usually this weird like robot sort of voice.
And that brings us back to autotune. Autotune. The main innovation that autotune brought to the table is that unlike these older forms of pitch correction, autotune allows you to keep the tone and sort of personality and timbre of your voice while still keeping it perfectly in tune. And the way autotune pitch corrects your voice is that it listens to your voice and it compares the note that you're singing or speaking to the closest note on whatever scale you selected. As you can see, you can sort of select different keys and scales in here. I've selected D major right now, so whenever I make a note, even if I'm just talking, autotune hears me sing that and it says, okay, that's pretty close to an A, so let's just pitch shift those sound waves to be perfectly an A note. Also, it's worth mentioning this little knob right here, which controls the retune speed, which basically means it decides how quickly autotune lets your voice change from one note to another note. When this is set to 0, you get that really harsh and robotic autotune sound. But when it's set to higher numbers, say 20 and above, it might not be so obvious that you're using autotune. And it does all of that in real time. So you can autotune recordings in post, but you can also do it live. Autotune's first notable appearance in a song was Cher's Believe in 1998. From there, autotune made its way into hip-hop with artists like T-Pain, who has now basically become the poster boy for that classic, really harsh autotune sound. And now, it would be impossible to find a genre of music that doesn't utilize it or one of its competitors like Melodyne or G-Snap. But in spite of how popular autotune is, a huge percentage of music listeners still have some kind of negative opinion about autotune. This is especially true of the older generations, who will say stuff like, music was better back in the day when singers could actually sing instead of just, cheating or pretending to sing using autotune. And these people will also make the assertion that all of music as an art form has been on a steep decline since it was invented. But I think all the people who make all these arguments against pitch correction are sort of missing an entire dimension of this conversation, and that is that the sound of autotune is synonymous with the music of right now. People talk about autotune as if it's just a tool to make your singing sound better, but it's an effect that produces a specific feeling in the music. Music changes, and for every era of music, there are a few certain qualities that define that music as being from that period of time. And maybe in the future, autotune will kind of go out of style. When that happens, I think we're going to look back at the 2000s or the 2020s and the 2010s as, oh, remember when everybody was using autotune? Because that is one of the key ingredients of the culture of music that we have right now. When somebody says that using autotune is cheating, they're missing the big picture. That when somebody uses autotune on a song, they're not just using it to make their singing sound better. They're using it to feel connected to other artists of our generation. To say, I was a part of this music culture. They're using it to say, I was here. And isn't that why we do anything? But you know what? Who am I to tell you what I think about autotune? We need to hear from a larger sample size. And for that, I took to the streets of Hollywood. You guys want to be in a documentary? Alright. You guys want to be in a documentary?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. At first, I was having trouble getting people to talk to me. But then I remembered I had a secret weapon. Excuse me, sir. Would you like to be in a documentary?
What's it about?
Autotune?
Sure.
It's for a documentary about autotune.
Autotune?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever been involved in making any kind of music?
I made a dubstep song in the 7th grade once.
Could I interview you real quick? It's about music.
What's up?
It's about autotune.
Autotune?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you like?
R&B music.
R&B?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So they use a lot of autotune, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about autotune in general?
It makes things sound generic. I mean, it all kind of sounds the same. Yeah, it's a little soulless. I mean, it lets people that can't sing, so I guess that's a good thing.
I think it's cool. It can be utilized really cool. Like T-Pain, I think he was started it all.
What do you think about autotune in music?
Auto-tuning? Yeah, it's been going on for a very long time. I mean, we're at a point in music where we can duplicate not only the exact sound of people's voices, but you can actually go in and duplicate songs that they would have written.
How I feel about auto-tune, I feel like, who be using the most auto-tune? Trippie Redd, the auto-tune on the vocals to make it sound better when you sing.
Yeah.
It sound better for some reason.
Do you think it's like cheating for somebody to use that when they're singing?
Probably for me, I don't think so. A lot of artists use auto-tune, like, Bad Bunny, he used a lot of auto-tune too.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the music bad, but people just use filters.
Yeah, I think it is cheating, but it's like AI. Like AI hasn't reached a certain point yet, so you can still see image artifacts.
Right.
You can tell, and that's kind of like with autotune. Like it has audio artifacts. Like you can tell there's give.
Well, it's like, if you're born rich, is that cheating? I don't think it's cheating. I just think it depends on how you use it. If people like it, then
No, it's not cheating. There's a lot of tools out there, and sometimes it's for a good purpose. Somebody just goofs.
Do you think it's like cheating a little bit to use it to make yourself sound better?
I would say nah, because I make music too, and then I feel like that's a big part of music. Getting your music mixed, make sure it sounds appropriate for the radio.
You can totally say no, but would you like sing a little piece of any random song and we'll auto-tune it in post and try to make you sound really good?
Sure. But I mean, what if I can already sing amazingly?
Oh no, if you can sing amazingly, even better.
This is Major Tom to ground control. Well, you really made the grade. And the paper still da 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 da.
That is so good. That's such a coincidence that you sing that song because I'm working on a cover of Space Oddity right now. Yeah. Oh. Just sing. It could be a tiny little snippet of one of your favorite songs. It can even be
Happy birthday to you. Catch you guys later.
Sing a little piece of a song. It can be super short, and I'll auto-tune it in post, and it's part of the video. But if you want to, it's up to you. Anything, whatever you want.
Yeah. That's auto-tune?
Just that? Would you be willing to just sing a song and I'll auto-tune it in post and it'll be great?
Can I sing a Spanish song?
Yeah.
Dale moreno, dale moreno, dale moreno, no pares moreno. Dale moreno, dale moreno.
Wait, what song is that? Is that a reggaeton song?
Yes, a reggaeton.
Wow. Thanks for coming on this journey with me to learn all about autotune and pitch correction. Since you made it this far in the video, you might as well stick around, subscribe, see what I'm going to do next. I'd like to make more of these documentary style videos, so if there's a topic you think I should cover, leave it in the comments below. And if you'd like to support me, I'd really appreciate it if you join my Patreon. Here is a list of all of my current patrons. It's pretty short, but if you join, your name will be up here as well, and you'll be able to see all the exclusive videos and songs that I post on there. I also have a merch store if you'd like to grab something from there. Links to both of those things and all of my social medias will be in the description. Well, I'll see you in the next one. I'm Isaiah Warlock, and goodbye.